Now I've been in New York, Texas, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California, A-A-T-L-M-I-A-D-M-V, all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California,
New York, Texas, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, cause there's no place like California. California,
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody. Today's matchup features two teams eager to come away with a late season win. It's the Broncos going up against the Chiefs. So, with the call of this Week 16 matchup, let's hand it over to our commentators, Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
Larry, as always, it is a frenzied atmosphere inside Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. Hello again, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Guyton. And Charles, we look at this Chiefs ball club. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game. So they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, they're in a real groove of late. Winners of 5 of their last 6 games. It took a late fumble to seal the victory last year. What's in store this time around? The Broncos and Chiefs are underway from Arrowhead. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a first-round pick in April's draft out of Memphis University. It's Paxton Lynch.
Went through some injury issues in high school and played in a heavy run offense. He was overlooked by a lot of the colleges, but found a home in West Tennessee and made up for lost time in throwing the football. A big, powerful kid. He can really fling it.
The first carry for the rookie Devontae Booker. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. So let's take a look here at the key inactives. And, Charles, I guess you get this late in the year, you expect to see some guys populating on this list.
You're exactly right. No one's happy about it, but it really shouldn't be a surprise. So the guys who are playing in their spots, in their stead, they have to step up now and make big plays for their team.
Sanders has it over the middle. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. We heard them talk before the game about utilizing the intermediate passing game this week. It works for them there. They move the chains.
And we saw them work on it in practice as well. And most teams take a period at a time to work on different things. They put a couple of periods of work into the intermediate passing game, and now we know exactly why. They got the look that they were seeking, and they were able to take advantage of it.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
On first down, it's Lynch. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. It's a big play there for the Broncos. 31 yards.
He's come a long way since his time at Georgia Tech. What did he run at Tech? He ran hitches and go routes, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, but he ran them really well. He averaged well over 20 yards a catch while he was there. And he still creates downfield in the NFL. That big body and that willingness to go catch the football. He's pretty impressive.
And his friends call him Bebe, the nickname his uncle gave him back in the day. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Throwing here, Lynch on first down. Left side here to Sanders. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hands, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Jay Howard in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
But 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down.
Here we go. 3-19.
On 3rd down, Lynch. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. A gain of 11 and a 1st down. So opening drive 3rd down, they complete the slant to move the sticks.
And ordinarily, it's a high percentage pass when you throw it. And receivers like to run that route because it gets the ball in their hands pretty quickly. Just a couple of quick steps upfield, break towards the middle, the ball should be there, and then they can do some work afterwards.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. And I don't want to say that this offense starts and ends with Demaryius Thomas, but sometimes it starts and ends with Demaryius Thomas.
There's no reason you can't say it if it's the truth. He is the alpha and the omega of the receiving corps.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. Second and 10. It's Lynch again. Looking for Green, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the safety here, Ron Parker. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, your first drive of the first quarter, you get it down there, try to fire it in the end zone, and big-time deflation on that play.
No doubt about it. They're moving and grooving and getting into position, and this is not the ending that they saw on this drive, is it? They had things going their way.
They'll come out in the pistol.
Under.
On the ground, it's the first carry here for Jamal Charles. And he'll go out of bounds across the 35-yard line. And he'll get 17 yards there. And that'll be good for a KC first down.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice gain.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. They'll keep it on the ground with Charles again. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it's almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackler was there right away for a loss of yardage.
Here's Smith to the sideline, and a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were. 8 yards still remaining here on 3rd down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up and making it.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. It's picked up by the Broncos. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's 4th down. And in this very cold night air, how much harder, Charles, is it to hang on to that football?
It's a lot harder, and I know for the most part we think about a ball being slick when there's rain or snow, any type of moisture. But when it's cold and dry like this.
And it is cold.
And it is cold. It's also slick that way because you're not able to really grip it the same way. Your hands are cold, and then the hits seem harder. So, yeah, it's a lot more difficult to hold on to the football, which means you have to emphasize it that much more.
Wind chills right now, 12 degrees. On 1st down, and he's going to take it down to about the 35 here. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. Just 2 yards to go here on 2nd down for the offense.
Some runs are blocked so well, You almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
They'll throw on first down with Lynch. Green with a catch left side. And down inside the 15 he goes. 18 yards on the pickup there. And it'll be first down Denver.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Lynch leaves it with Booker on the draw. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. We've played a quarter here on Christmas Day. 0-0 our score, and we're back to Arrowhead after this.
This presentation of the NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a first down. Here's Lynch to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Sam Barrington. And nothing there on the return. They got the football, but they'll have to start this drive at their own 4-yard line.
Well, I get what he was trying to do. He was moving to his right and trying to shift the coverage, but instead he shifted the coverage also to the right and threw right into it for an interception.
We focus our attention now on the Broncos defense. And they forced that fumble the last time, and when it happens on a previous drive, you kind of get thirsty for it to happen again.
No doubt about it, because the person who created the turnover or the takeaway, he's getting the gold star. He's going to be the one we look at in film session and go, way to go. Everybody wants that praise from the coach. That means the next time out, you want it to be you.
Do they still hand out gold stars?
You know, amazingly enough, it's the simple things in life that motivate these guys.
A sticker, just a little
That's it, a little helmet sticker in college.
Yeah, put it on your fridge.
NFL, put a little gold sticker on their scouting sheet. Things like that. They love that stuff.
Makes them feel good. To throw is Smith. Catch here, left side, Thomas. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards there on the pickup, and the Chiefs are going to have a first down. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
6 yards here to go for the offense on second down. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. On second down, here's Smith. Over the middle, it's Thomas. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
So here we go, a third down after the second down pass completion. They come up in an offset eye. Short yardage situation. Here's Charles. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
Partner, we're into the second quarter, and I guess you can kind of look at it both ways. The offense, they've got to figure out what they're going to do because they haven't scored any points. But if you're the defense, you're feeling great about what you got going on. The only concern you have, if you get to the half, what adjustments will the offense make to try to defeat you?
And Denver getting set to take the field. And 2 picks thrown here in this first half alone. We'll see how that affects him.
Can't wait to see where his confidence is because the great ones, they'll throw 4 or 5 picks, and while it'll hurt their team, it won't hurt their confidence. They'll think something was just wrong with the ball or the wind or something was funny. It's never about them. That's how they stay so into the moment and into the game.
The drive starts with Devontae Booker, and he'll get this only up to about the 35. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Lynch looking to throw on second. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
An extra DB here for the Chiefs on third down.
Pass situation.
Now it's Lynch. Drops it underneath for Booker. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. It'll be a gain of 4. And it'll be fourth down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Fourth down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. Back deep for Kansas City, DeAnthony Thomas. The Chiefs bring pressure and they block it. Now this will be picked up inside the 25. And so they will end up with a ball and possession right on the edge of the red zone at the 20. And with points at an extreme premium here in a 0-0 game, that could be a big special teams play right there.
That's an advantage play. Someone create an advantage for their team, give them an opportunity, and special teams is usually a terrific starting point for that. Blocking the punt, now they've given themselves a chance and have seized momentum.
The first down carry here for Charles. And he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked number 1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
Shift together here from the D-line. To throw on second down is Smith. To the right side, it's Kelsey. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
2 minutes remain in a scoreless first half. We're back to Arrowhead after this. That coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner.
Looks like a nickel set here defensively on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, maybe expecting a throw. Out of the gun, Smith. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down. It looked like he might have had a window there, but the rhythm was just a little bit off.
It certainly was, because everything that has to come together to get a pass completed, yeah, you're right. The sync just wasn't there.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
And this is going to be roughing the kicker, an inexcusable penalty, Charles.
You've worked so hard to hold him to a three-point kick. Now you're giving him the ball again with a chance for a touchdown.
Back to throw, Smith. His pass caught at the 4. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Demetrius Harris, his first touchdown on the year. And the Chiefs are in for 6.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed, way harder to cover than before.
And his kick is good to make it 7-0 KC. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at his 4. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. So the Broncos coming out now. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of...
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going.
And he's going to go down. Back across midfield, he's sacked at the 46. So a big sack on 2nd down. Now let's see what the offense has in store for 3rd. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to...
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. It's picked up by the Broncos. Now it appears we've got a Chief moving pretty gingerly down there. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. And as the referee is under the hood, and we're seeing this as well, he's watching the knee, isn't he?
Similar to a bang-bang play in baseball where you're listening to the sound of the ball hitting the glove at first base while watching the runner's foot hit the base. Which one came first? Did the knee hit the ground, or did the ball come loose?
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So the challenge comes in inside of 2 minutes, and it gets overturned.
And it changes the whole format of what's about to happen because both sides had thought a certain call had been made. Now they have to flip back and start over.
The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes the timeout. And now we're set to get going. Now Smith. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They send Thomas out to the right by himself. Here's Smith now on 2nd down. Surveying the field. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
And right now I take my rudimentary kindergarten skills and draw where the tackle box would be, because that was close. I thought he was in the tackle box. He has to be very careful where he gets rid of the football from that spot.
Yeah, they say there was a receiver in the area, though.
Yeah. There's always a receiver in the area.
And too much on that one. It's out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. Here's Cairo Santos now for the Chiefs field goal. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So the drive takes him inside the 10, but it ends with just 3.
And a nice job defensively to rise up and make sure they didn't get in.
Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
On 2nd down, Lynch. They set up the screen to Booker. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. 1 receiver left, 3 to the right. Final play of the half. It's Lynch. Flushed out right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And this one is incomplete. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we'll send you down to Orlando as we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon. I'm Larry Ridley, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. The Chiefs have cruised into halftime with the lead. The Broncos really looked great last week, but it hasn't been so easy for them in this one. All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Here early in the first, Thomas is found on the quick pass. And the pass and catch will end up going for 31 yards. Broncos would later throw a pick on the drive. Offense on the field now after the fumble. The pass ends up being picked off. Chiefs defense happy to get off the field. Chiefs take it at the 6. Harris is wide open here on the catch. And this play goes for a score. Chiefs up by a touchdown. So that'll do it for us here in Orlando. For the call of the second half, let's hand it back over to Brandon and Charles. Brandon.
So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. They go play action here on first down. It's Kelsey on the ground. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
And there's a completion to Travis Kelsey. I think he's starting to come into his own as a tight end and as a player, and that makes his quarterback, Alex Smith, really happy.
Smith on first down. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it, and it took the ball off course.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
On second down, Jamal Charles. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid-type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
Here's the option going right. And now the ball's loose. Smith loses it.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Here's Dustin Colquitt now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll start out on the ground with Booker. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Now that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Here we go now.
On second down, here's Lynch. And incomplete. Emmanuel Sanders, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and 5. And you really can't pin that one on the quarterback, Charles. The O-line, they've got to protect them.
And they know it. That's their meal ticket. They want to take care of the big guy behind them. In this case, they let him down.
And the offense in that middle ground here on 3rd down. 5 yards to go.
Let's go. Green.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Lynch. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up, and he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a KC touchdown. Short throw pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Santos now to add the PAT. He's got it, and it's 17-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
Let's go.
Throwing here, Lynch on 1st down. Over the middle, it's Thomas. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Now it's 2nd and 7.
Here we go, D. Here I come again. Here I come again. Here I come again. Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
Lynch hands to Booker, and he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32. A couple of Chiefs there to bring him down.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
Hard throw, incomplete. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver, and it's 4th and 3. Now, the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. Thomas, the lone receiver, left. And now Lynch steps away to his left. He's got his man here. It's Green. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. I don't know if I agree with that. I guess they don't care if I agree with that. But, boy, you have to be surprised by that, right?
I definitely was surprised that they decided to go for it in this situation. But they must have either felt like they either had a great play call on or they're trying to show extreme confidence.
Now Lynch. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Jay Howard in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise there in the dime. Now it's Lynch. And down he goes. The pressure getting to Lynch. Alan Bailey. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. A rookie QB struggling, gets thrown down to the ground there. But, you know, maybe this game, it's not over yet, but maybe this game can be a learning experience for him.
So many different things that he has to pick up on. When to go ahead and flush from the pocket and run. When to get rid of the football, not take the sack. When to just go ahead and go down early and make sure you don't fumble the football. So many things that he has to learn. This game starts the process.
Returnable for Thomas. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And it's Chiefs football. 1st and 10. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They'll start the drive with Jamal Charles. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. And they give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Play fake for Charles. Now Smith. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
Well, the great coach has said football is really a simple game. Rush theirs, protect yours. And he's talking about those guys throwing the football. In this situation, the rush won, hitting the quarterback and forcing him into an incompletion.
Defense thinking pass. They've got the nickel set out on 3rd and 6. Throwing is Smith. He's got time. Now he's going to go deep down the left side. This is caught inside the 15. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Chris Conley, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Chiefs add on to their lead. And that time, he came out of the slot for that big play downfield for the score.
I think what we just saw there, partner, was what we call scheming a guy open. Put him in the slot, know that he has tremendous speed. What you're doing with your other receivers is likely running shorter routes to draw the attention closer to the line of scrimmage, to give him a chance to get downfield and turn it into a one-on-one route, often against the safety. You like your odds when he's running against the safety. His speed usually wins, and it did on that play.
And the lead is now 24. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now Lynch on first down. Green with a catch left side. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Now it appears we've got a Chief moving pretty gingerly down there. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. Lynch looking to throw on second. Completes it to Norwood. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
This presentation of the NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Snickers. You're off your game when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
We're back now in KC. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Third and short, it's Booker. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. Thomas, the lone receiver, left. They'll throw on first down with Lynch. Eluding the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Kenneth Acker. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them. Playing against a 3-4 front is really challenging for offensive linemen because they can do so many different things. But when you're running the football, if you can handle the nose tackle up front and then maybe a guard can slide up to the second level and block a linebacker, that's when you have some.
Jamal Charles, nobody in front. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Jamal Charles, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Chiefs just continue to pour it on.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's going. She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Now the point after try for Santos. And the lead will grow by 1 more. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And the long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
So many components go into a well-executed screen pass. You've got to sell. Offensive line's got to sell like they've missed blocks, and then they move out, and they're out in front of the running back. He's got to sell that he's trying to block, and then he slips out into the route. The quarterback has to sell that maybe he's trying to throw it downfield. Instead, he slips it off to the running back, and when you get one set perfectly, you have to catch the ball. And that didn't happen on that play.
Second and 10. It's Lynch again. This is Booker on the dump off. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Got the hand caught up in the grill of the face mask. 15-yard penalty.
So tough for a defender. You're trying so hard to make a play, and the way that these offensive guys can move around, sometimes your hand gets into the wrong place.
Lynch fighting. He fumbles. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Chiefs. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line.
Okay, this isn't one where you want to take the game tape and hold it up as an example, do you? I mean, you talk about frustrating all the way through. And that last error, I think that crystallizes it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's been representative of their entire game still being shut out. Charles the lone setback. And he'll get it up the middle. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
That was a really nice play. Be able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free, and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. On the run, it's Charles. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end. These short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Kansas City. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Thomas, the lone receiver, left. On 1st and 10, it's Lynch. And he is going to be wrapped up and slung to the turf. The NFL sack leader from 2014, Justin Houston, in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Alert, alert. All right, here we go.
On second down, Lynch. And Green with a catch left side. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Now Green, staying on the ground. Let's hope he's all right. And how might this affect him for the playoffs? We'll get a report when we come back. Let's see if they can convert here on 3rd and 3.
Here we go now.
Lynch now throwing on 3rd. And now here is another interception. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. Face mask penalty, and Charles, you were a defender. You know sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's hard to keep your hands away from that face mask.
Sometimes you just get out of position as a defender when you're trying to make a tackle, so you end up flailing away, and your hand gets into the wrong spot.
Charles, the low setback. And he'll get it up the middle. Shreds the tackle. Stiff-armed him. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7. Leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Again, it's Charles. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2. Now 3rd down.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one. Maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. From the gun on 3rd down, Smith. And Wilson has it. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. And how might this affect him for the playoffs? We'll get a report when we come back. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Shift together here from the D-line.
3 down. Hey, check. Under.
Smith going to turn and give to Charles. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away.
Watch tight end. Tight end's right. Under 10.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And down inside the 15 he goes. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs.
Brandon, I'll make this one really simple. When Jamal Charles is operating at this level, his team is awfully hard to beat.
Absolutely. All-time leading rusher for the Kansas City Chiefs, and just doing his thing once again. We've seen this so many times in his career. And
there have been some big-time runners in Kansas City history. Jamal Charles standing at the top of that heap now.
Here we go with 2nd and 7.
We got three, fellas. We got 3.
Throwing now, Smith. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Albert Wilson, the intended receiver there. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
Slants are so tough to cover because everything happens so fast. But sometimes it happens too fast for the guy catching the ball because all of his movements have to be quick off the line of scrimmage, and then all of a sudden the ball's right on top of you. And maybe he got a little bit ahead of himself there.
Yeah, a lot of times coming in with good pace, and he dropped it. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, at some point, you've got to win at the point of attack. And on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen.
And they won't run a play here, no victory formation. They will indeed try to get 3 more. The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent, and how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.
So for Kansas City, the win moves them to 8-7 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the San Diego Chargers. Meanwhile, for Denver, it's a loss that could wind up hurting a little as they fall now to 11-4. And they'll be at home for one next week against the Oakland Raiders. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. The Chiefs victorious here as we say so long from Arrowhead.